Yo, what's up everybody? In this YouTube video, me and Omar are gonna be talking about abundance. One of the most abundant people I know in my life right now is Mr. Omar Reynoso here. I wanted to take some of your time to pick your brain on how you can be so abundant. You know, I've seen you having months where you're making a ton of money, months where you're making a little bit less, you know, sales and how it goes. And throughout, I've always noticed that you've had this like abundance where nothing can shake you, you know, like neutrality that it kind of radiates through you and everybody sees. So I guess I'm curious, like how do you think that started? Like where did that stem from? And what is your thought process when it comes to high pressure, you know, uncomfortable situations? So we'll answer that later, but for now, like where do you think your abundance came from?
I want to say it's more so, you know, just detachment from the outcome. I think in the beginning of when I got into entrepreneurship, which wasn't always sales, by the way, actually way back, I'm talking like 17, 18 years old. You know, everyone knew about the whole e-com, like drop shipping. I think you probably did that too at some point. So like everyone's been on that. So like I pretty much got into drop shipping e-com, you know, making your first dollar. I'm like, okay, cool, make money online, it's real. So I don't know, I think I just knew that I want to be and I'll answer your question in a second. I'm just going to give you the context. But like, I think getting into all these ventures, because it was drop shipping, it was copywriting, I've gone into stocks, you know, marketing, building an SMMA, Imangazi. I tried doing all of that. I think overall, I'm looking at the identity of the person. Like, what is the person I want to become? I want to be the person that can literally fucking be with his entire family, the family of family, friends of friends, a whole big ass dining table, and the fucking bills get slapped on the table and I put my card down, I don't even think about it, right? That's what I always wanted. So like, I understand there's people out there that literally do that, and I was like, cool, like how does he walk through life? Like what is his thought process? So now the reason why I brought up the past of like just making money, I think I just knew that like that person was always just working on building a business, learning a skill set, and then taking the actions to eventually build wealth. I guess I didn't like necessarily like overthink it. It's literally just as simple as, hey, the person I want to be is literally just daily just taking action, doing the hard stuff, and just literally just making the money and taking care of his family and hitting his goals. So when I look at, maybe in your eyes you think of it as like abundant, I don't even think of it like as like abundant. I just know that like all I'm focused on is like the inputs, like inputs, and then like I just want to reach that identity. As long as I know I'm doing the inputs, I know the outputs will come, which is typically in this case money. So to break it down more simply, it's kind of just look at things with the identity of the person that I want to become, and how does he view money? He views money as just like a tool, just to take care of his family and slap his Amex card on the table and not fucking flinch. That's just how I always view things, and that's how I say or stay abundant and I guess grounded, in a sense.
So to recap, it sounds like you started off by understanding what type of person you wanted to be, and then you essentially assumed the identity of that person.
Right.
And to be abundant, essentially, you want to be the person that is able to go out there, take care of his family, do certain things, obviously, that like a lot of guys want to do. But then instead of just focusing on that output, you're just focusing on the inputs that that person would do, and the way that they would act, and the way they emotionally respond to things.
Exactly.
And you just assume that identity.
Exactly.
And naturally, the results came from that.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like, it's literally just, I want to be this person, so I'm just going to take that same exact actions he would take, the same exact thought patterns, same exact the way he handles his emotions. Like I just want to be that person, so I just replicate it. I do exactly that, and in essence I just became the person that just was very. And I think part of my neutrality, because you mentioned neutrality, comes from like traumatic past. I had divorced parents, and obviously having divorced parents, I always wanted to break them apart from fighting. Obviously that didn't work, but I think I think that was part of it. But not to go off a tangent, but like yes, I think the abundant mindset is just literally just taking someone you look up to and just literally just copying him and mimicking him. Mindset, emotionally, their thought patterns, their behavior, the way that they think, the way that they operate, literally just copy it word for word, bar for bar. If you focus on those inputs, I promise you, you will get the outcome that you want. Thus, you will become abundant. I think that's how to get there.
If I'm in a heated moment, okay, and this is something that like I've seen you do many times. I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples here just so you understand what I'm trying to say. I have seen Omar in situations where, you know, in the company, we had situations where like the payment processor stopped sending us money, which meant that none of the salespeople were getting paid, right? right? None of the salespeople were getting paid. Fulfillment on the back end was getting absolutely cooked because obviously the coaches are demotivated because they're not getting paid. The operations were just going to shit. And then people, Omar was a sales manager at the time, and people would come up to Omar and they would ask for advice or ask for help or complain. And Omar always had this neutrality where like, no matter how bad the situation is, you go to Omar and he has like this straight neutral face that is just, he hears you out as soon as you're kind of like just like actively listens to what's going on, and then like helps you real solution. Again, same thing when it comes to like problems at the workplace, right? Like with certain people, like he's able to just be able to dissect, you know, for example, like our CEO at the time, I used to have some ego issues with him, and Omar was able to always come in the middle, dissect the situation, find the solution without being, you know, kind of one-sided towards me or towards the other side. I guess I'm curious, bro, like in the moment when things are going to shit, what goes on in your brain that allows you to stay so neutral when it's very easy to take one side, when it's very easy to take the business owner side, when it's very easy to take the salesperson side?
I would say two things. I think the first thing, which is pretty much behind the curtain, what it looks like, I think like I brought up, like it's just a traumatic past with like divorced parents. I always was the person to...
But like walk me through that. Give me examples. Like how did you, like give me examples of how you did that? Because I genuinely...
When I was a kid.
Yeah, like I genuinely don't understand because it's something that's so fascinating to me because I can come off very one-sided. I'm curious how you do it.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I was younger, maybe like preschool, I was pretty young. I mean, parents fighting, it's as you guys can imagine. I mean, they're yelling at each other. I think most of the arguments were for finances. Most of the arguments were petty arguments here and there. Obviously, you don't really remember everything as a kid, or maybe I tried to forget the past. I don't know everything verbatim, to be honest, but I know I was the person that was wedged between my mom and my dad, and I was always trying to find ways to kind of rekindle things. And the way I would do that was I'll look at the outcome that I wanted. The outcome that I wanted is bringing these two people together, right? So the only way to do that is you can't be emotional. You have to logistically figure it out. I had to logistically understand what my mom needed from my dad, and I had to logistically understand what my dad needed from my mom. So I naturally kind of did those actions over time with my family. So I think that kind of snowballed and translated into business, right? Or even with my friendships. I literally, if you were fighting with our CEO at the time, right? Like I don't look at things like this person's kind of right or maybe this person's right. I look at things like, cool, what's the outcome that I want? The outcome that I want is I want these two people to be able to work together and work with me, right? And be obviously happy and be able to, you know, have a future, right? So in my head, it was kind of just using that same exact mechanism. Like I would go to you, I'd understand you genuinely, understand what your concerns are and really just like what you want from the situation or the outcome. And I would take that and talk to the other person, find out legitimately what they want. And it just takes a lot of patience. That's kind of why I became such a patient person, because again, your family's fighting like 24/7. Not the coolest thing, but that's the way it works. So that's I think I just translated that into business. So now I can take two people, look at the outcome of what I want, which is just uniting these people and just finding out what they really need and just kind of conjoining that to where both parties, wherever they are, can stay together. And I think I just did that over and over, if that makes sense.
It definitely makes a lot of sense.
Why do you feel like it's so hard to do that? I guess would be my question.
I mean, from my perspective,
like to me, it's just, I mean, you tell me like it's fucking, like I do like it's second nature, but I guess like, because there's probably people watching who are like you, not like
yeah, I mean,
emotional.
I think it comes from like a lack of patience. It's just things you have to work on because it does take a lot of patience and it does take a lot of maturity to focus more on the ultimate goal rather than just being right in the moment. Because yeah, it does feel good to be right, but it feels even better to actually have, you know, the ultimate goal, have the things that you want, have the relationships that you want. Yeah, I guess just like being able to look at the bigger picture in the moment. So that's something I struggle with.
Well then, I guess like good question for you is why are people watching this video like, why is it so important to be abundant? Some people probably like I bet you there's people out there that just literally don't give a fuck whether they're abundant or not. They make money, spend money, make money, spend money. Maybe they're really good at their 9-to-5 job. They're making a good amount of money. They just spend it all on the weekend, go out on trips, do all that stuff. Like why is it so important and crucial to be abundant? Maybe you were abundant in your life or were trying to be abundant in your life and you got a certain result. Like what's the point of being abundant? Like why is it even a topic right now?
I mean, honestly, I feel like you're the expert in this matter. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, why do you
want to be abundant like myself?
Personally, I want to be abundant because I feel like it kind of breaks some limiting beliefs, it breaks some barriers, and it allows you to be able to look at the bigger picture without just being focused on the short term. I feel like it's just like being abundant is such a good long-term play, because essentially you're assuming the identity, like you said, you're assuming the identity of that person you want to be before you can be, and that's really one of the fastest ways you can get there. It's one of the things I'm reading in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, right? So that's
great book.
That's the biggest thing. But like, yeah, I mean, I guess, what if I didn't know that already, right? Like, I didn't know any of that. I had no clue.
Like abundance, you're saying?
Yeah, and
Having abundance.
you had somebody that was like, that has like 10 grand into his bank account. He doesn't want to invest in himself. He doesn't want to go out there and try things. Like, what would you tell them abundance is important? Like, or how would you communicate that with them?
I mean, it comes down to the same exact mechanism, right? The person that has 10 grand in their investment account, but they want to, and I'm assuming they want to hit a certain goal. Is that what you're saying? The example is?
Yeah. So they have like 5 grand in their bank account, or they even have 1,000, but they're like, they
have
want to hit a certain goal, but
they want to travel.
Yeah, they want to travel. They want to change their lives. They want to retire their parents. Like, they want to do all these things. I guess, how would, like, what advice could you give that person to be more abundant when it comes to going out there and trying things?
It's the exact same mechanism I've been talking about. It's just literally talking to that person, whoever they may be, and just walking them through like the outcome that they want, right? The outcome that you want is you want to travel the world, you want to be able to go out to these really crazy dinners, go out to whatever it is, clubs. I mean, everyone has their own things that they want to do. Literally just that, just like find out exactly what the outcome that they're looking for is, and then kind of backward engineer for them, because some people won't do that. They just say they want things, but don't actually like backward engineer what that really looks like and what the inputs are. So they know what they want, but they're kind of stuck in this little loop of making money.
But I guess that's, how do you get over the fear of like investing in yourself when you have so little? Like, how do you get over the fear? How do you get that abundance?
So you're saying like when you don't have enough resources, or like when like you're limited, how do you be abundant?
You still want to be able to go out there and do that.
I guess it's an interesting question, because you're saying like that.
Because you invested in yourself when you were getting into this entrepreneurship journey, and you didn't have much. So like if yourself, your past self that's getting into it, I'm sure you had a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
What would you tell him?
What would I tell him? I think I would just tell him it's inevitable. I think now I can understand your question. It's like same thing, same exact outcome. I have to kind of show him, or the younger me, like, hey, if you want this outcome, the inevitable thing you have to do, the input you have to do, is actually invest your money. Like, there's no other way to do it. You understand you're gonna need a mentor. You understand you need to invest in to get the resources and knowledge, whether it's from other people or courses or programs. Like, you need the knowledge, you need the wisdom, you need to meet these people. So like, that's where the abundance comes from. It's like, if I guess this is my answer. I'm not sure. I wouldn't say this is like the universally correct, but I think I would just tell them, hey, you want this outcome. It's inevitable that you invest your money and put it towards something that's gonna, elevate you or move you towards that goal, or you get the same result. So it's like, it's kind of giving them that question, like, do you want the same result, or do you want to do the thing that you're gonna have to do anyway, whether it's now or in 6 months or in a year? Doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account, you're still to make those same exact steps. So you might as well make it now. That's what I would tell that person. Like, hey, like, if you really want that life, fucking just let it rip. Like, you're gonna have, you let it rip now or 6 months or a year from now, but how soon do you want to be successful? Now? Cool. Just drop 5 bands in the mentorship, shit like that.
I love that. Well, guys, remember, stay abundant, stay neutral, and I hope you genuinely got some takeaways from this and you took some notes in the process, because when I tell you guys, believe me on this, Omar has a wealth of wisdom when it comes to being neutral. I have seen entrepreneurs with multi-million-dollar companies say nothing but good things about him just because of what he's been able to do. So yeah, guys, I mean, that's really it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you get some value. Peace.